In the fakest lights, where villains spend the weekend, the deep end, we're swimming with the sharks until we drown. Except we're not, because they didn't make the playoffs. Fuck the Sharks. Oh boy. What a, great. Ovechkin jersey because salty Islanders fans. Sorry, had to do it. Before we can get into hockey, we got to get serious for a second. We lost a legend of the sport today, Dale Hawerchuk, so thoughts and prayers go out to his family. We're actually going to talk, that really impacted the Dallas Stars game. The coach was very close with him, and you can definitely tell in that game the players kind of were inspired by that. It's a tough loss for the sport. I don't want to comment further on that because it's this is one of those things where sports gets real. It's tough. So that's that. Let's get into talking about hockey. Philadelphia, Montreal. The first goal of the game is what really matters here because whoever gets the first goal of the game apparently is winning the series. But this was all Carter Hart. He's all Carter Hart. He's got a 120-minute shutout streak. He's back-to-back shutouts for Philadelphia now. And he's the second youngest to do it in the playoffs ever. You know what? This game reminded me of an Islanders game. It really did. They got the lead and they just kind of played defense the rest of the game. The first period, Raffl gets a goal. This is by Couturier and Voracek. And then they just play defense. Not a lot happening. Montreal's trying, but they're just getting a little outclassed and they're just not getting any puck luck either. Second period, doesn't get a goal till 17:04. Myers is by Konechny and Hayes. And poor Carey Price, he just goes off his stick. It was not a great goal to let in, but also not Carey Price's fault at the same time. So third period gets more physical, but this was Philly's game. They win 2-0, take a 3-1 series lead, and they get the chance to close it out tomorrow. We have 4 elimination games tomorrow, so that'll be interesting. Dallas, Calgary, no Bishop for Dallas, no Tkachuk for Calgary. Dallas gets their first odd game win because for whatever reason the series has really low scoring games and then offensive shootouts, and they're just trading wins on each time. First period, Dallas is trying to take control early, building off the last game, and Calgary is just allowing too many shots. Calgary really let Dallas off the hook. They probably should have won this game, but they just didn't. I think that this is the third power play of the game for Calgary at 10:13, and they let a short-handed goal. Ben, this is by Seguin. He just crashed the net. As of right now, it's still a short-handed goal. They were on a 4-on-4, and the 4-on-4 ends, and Calgary had 2 seconds left in the power play, and Ben gets the goal, and they're saying that 1 second he got the goal, that might get changed, though, so that might not end up being short-handed. I'm just putting that out there. Calgary's just not getting shots to the net, and Giordano hits a crossbar. At 19:14, though, Backlund gets a goal, so that's nice for Calgary. They tie it up 1-1, and then Hintz hits a crossbar, so Dallas is just showing that, hey, we can come back too. Second period, Dallas is continuing the pressure. I noted this. The refs are starting to let them play more. We're starting to see that playoff hockey where the whistles just don't happen. It's a little frustrating, but the same because it's always when you're hoping for a power play, you're just not gonna get it. It's always that call, but it is what it is. Perry gets a break, which leads to a scrum, and that's where I really noticed that Tkachuk wasn't here because he normally makes a big impact in that type of situation, but he's not there to do it. Very weak defense by Calgary, not good stuff. Third period, a minute 12 in, Klingberg gets a goal. This is by Janmark. Both those guys really need to get in there. They earned that goal, and Janmark earned the assist. Calgary starts playing desperate. Anderson and Lindholm hit the post. Sekera hits a post for Dallas. Man scramble in front of the net late. Hudobin just gets really lucky there. I mean, good for Hubi. And there's a late power play for Calgary, so they go 6-on-4 and they just can't cash in. Dallas wins 2-1, take a 3-2 series lead. And I guess we're probably going to end up going to 7 because both these past 2 games, Calgary has lost, but they're playing better. I know I noted that they had weak defense and they're playing desperate and they're not getting shots, but that's only because it becomes apparent when you're outclassing a team, but then, you're not doing this. The first period, they were playing better, but they weren't getting the shots they needed to get. In the second period, they were playing better, but their defense wasn't playing that hot. In the third period, they're just playing too desperate and they're not sticking to their game. And I don't know, Calgary, you're kind of wasting Cam Talbot's performances here. Washington, New York. Oh, I can just feel the salty Islanders fans already. Washington came out flat. I did not expect to be able to put this jersey on. I really thought the Islanders were going to sweep, and then I was going to talk about how I don't think the Islanders sweeping is a good idea because I think they needed this loss. This is actually going to end up being a positive talk about the Islanders, but first we got to go through the game. Islanders are controlling early. 3:50, they got a goal. JGP, this is by Mayfield and Cizikas. At the 5-minute mark, shot attempts are 15-1 in favor of the Islanders. And I was like, okay, they're sweeping. Especially when Barzal gets the goals by Leddy and Green at 9:16. Leddy actually comes up onto the offense there. Haven't seen him do that lately. Right after that goal, there's a timeout taken by the Capitals, and I was like, what the hell? What are they doing that for? But good thing they did. They're starting to show some life. Lee causes a scrum. Eller is robbed late, and then Cizikas pokes the bear. And this is the moment that I'm calling the turning point. Cizikas goes and hits Ovi in the skates. Ovi puts him in a headlock, which takes a penalty. But all of a sudden, the Capitals are like, we mad. Right? Second period starts. Good penalty kill. Then a power play for the Islanders. Varlamov is amazing. It is great this period. 3:35 though, Kuznetsov gets a goal. This is by Carlson and Holtby. That shouldn't go in the net. Kuznetsov is just cruising. He's not even crashing. He loses the puck, and it just happens to go 5-hole. Yeah, that was not great. On the power play, Ovi gets a shot from his office and just smacks Varlamov right in the mask. And I was like, oh boy, that looked no fun. And right after that, Wilson makes a great diving play and gets it to Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov gets it to Carlson. And Ovi's in his office for the power play goal at 5:29. Game's tied. And I'm like, oh, they're going to do that thing. They're going to do that thing that they do. Wilson takes a late penalty for boarding. And Islanders fans are going to call for a suspension. And probably just people that don't like Tom Wilson. But I'm going to defend Tom Wilson here. He definitely did not Tom Wilson hit. He let go. He did hit him. It was a cross-check into the boards. Definitely a 2-minute minor. But Wilson's kind of matured. You know, like a year ago, 2 years ago, he probably breaks his neck. He probably goes and tries to kill the guy. Wilson, the whole playoffs, really, not really the goon, which is interesting. So, I don't know, it's just nice to see a player kind of grow up and find his game. So, no getting mad at him. Third period, 3:40, Ovi gets the goal. This is by Orlov. Look really good. That was a really good shot. And then Caps just owned the game. The Islanders just could not get anything going. And Washington wins 3-2. And I was talking to my friends who are Islanders fans, and they are salty as hell. We got one of my buddies calling for Greiss has to be in the lineup. They gotta move Barzal to the third or fourth line. All right, let's calm it down. You're up 3-1 in a series. You've only let up 3 goals in this game. You're 6-2 in the playoffs right now. You're fine. You're fine. You don't change anything with the lineup. You leave it be. You come out and you fix what you did wrong. You play how you did in the first period and you're fine. The Islanders just kind of lost themselves. They're fine. They needed this. The Islanders are not a team that can sweep, have a bunch of days off and come back and play hockey. They can't. They are not a team that can do that. They would lose and probably get swept. They needed to face some adversity. They're going to fix it. Trotz is going to out-scheme Washington again and probably get Washington's coach fired. So, calm down, Islanders fans. Jesus. You get into 2 playoffs. You get back. We need you to suck again because this is annoying. Vegas, Chicago. We did that thing that we do. Stasny's back in the lineup for Vegas. Nylander is out for Chicago. I just noted this. Cody Glass, the rookie, he broke something with his knee. He came back for the mini camp, but they just said, you know what? No, we don't need him. I kind of miss him on the third line. I'm watching this game, and they put Carlson, Stone, and Pacioretty together, and I loved it. Then they had Stastny, Marchessault, and Smith. I would much rather them go Stevenson, Pacioretty, Stone, Carlson, Smith, Marchessault, and then Stasny, Glass, and Tuck, and then the fourth line be either Waugh or probably just Waugh and Carrier and Reeves, or Cousins actually. Do Cousins, Carrier, Reeves. I like them together, and then defense is fine. I really miss that lineup. That's when they were playing their strongest hockey. That's when I got to go see them play live. It was great. I miss Cody Glass. He would probably make this dominant team even more dominant. First period, Vegas comes out guns a-blazing, and I'm like, we're gonna win. I mean, it felt pretty good. The fourth line's pressuring. They got a couple chances. Crawford's playing Crawford, though. I put this on my Snapchat. I said, Crawford's going to haunt me. And he probably will, just not today. He robs Smith. 10:32. Goal by Taves by Kubalik and Saad and Braden McNabb and Nate Schmidt. Like, they're good defensemen. They really are. They just not today. Way too many turnovers by them. Crawford robs Theodore after that goal. Late in the period, DeBrincat gets a goal assist by Strome and Murphy, and wow, what a play. Murphy with that little spin, Strome with a great pass to DeBrincat, and he just like stands to the side of the net and taps it in. I couldn't even be mad at that. That was beautiful. But Vegas says, hello, do you remember us? We're better than you. 1929, Pacioretty gets a goal assist by McNabb and Carlson. Carlson had a really good game, despite not getting a goal. He gets a couple assists in this game. Just nuts. Second period, Vegas builds off their momentum. Stone gets a goal assist by Carlson and Pacioretty 57 seconds into the period. I'm like, ooh, we like you that. But then Patrick Kane, 402 assist by Kajula. That was filthy. He knew it. He knew that Leonard was gonna poke check, and he just throws a 5-hole, and he sellies with everybody, and then he says something to Leonard. I don't know what he said. As of the recording of this video, we don't know what they said, but at the end of the game, they gave each other hugs, so it probably wasn't that mean. But, you know, it's kind of nice to see. 7:28, Vegas is on the power play, and William Karlsson with a great between-the-legs backhand pass gets it to Schmidt, who gets it to Smith, who gets it to Martinez, who doesn't hit the post this time. Power play goal. Beautiful. Beautiful. The Rangers fan in me was very pissed off for like a solid minute. Like, ew, Alec Martinez, I hate that guy. But then I was like, no, it's fine. Ties the game, and first power play marker of the series for Vegas. And that's when I said, all right, we're winning. Because there's just, when certain things like that, when they keep bringing up when the commentary brings up certain things like, oh, Vegas hasn't scored on the power play. Chicago hasn't done this. Like, it has to happen. That's the rule. That's why after this goal, my first thought was, oh, we're winning. Oh, but Kane was chirping Leonard, so Kane's going to make us go to overtime. Doesn't matter, though. Or Kane's going to hit the game-winning goal. Late in the period, Highmore runs over Leonard. Like, just straight up forearm shuffle like he's a running back. Runs him over. And it was a pretty nasty hit. No penalty. But Shea Theodore goes to the box for slashing. That was kind of dumb. Like, I'm sorry. Highmore's got to get a penalty for that. He just ran to the goaltender. Even Mike Emmerich, who... Can we just take a second to appreciate how amazing Mike Emmerich is in the booth? He can make paint drying interesting. Love that man. But yeah, he was like, yeah, it's obviously Highmore's going to the box. And then we come back from commercial, he's like, oops, yeah, so apparently the refs say that's not a penalty. There's a late scrum. Karlsson tries to do what Pacioretty did in the first period, but he's denied by Crawford. Crawford had a great game. This is not Crawford's fault. Third period starts, 1:34. Actually, before we get to Tuck goal, the Blackhawks actually were pushing, but then both teams go for a change. Tuck comes right off the bench. Marchessault gets it right to him, and Tuck just crashes the net and kind of does the Forsberg almost, but like not as clean, but it's like basically the same thing. And assisted by Marchessault and Theodore at 1:34. Great goal. Vegas leads 4-3. First lead of the game for Vegas. Both teams are just playing strong at the blue line, just kind of killing the clock. Chicago starts pushing at the halfway mark. Tuck scores again, but Cousins was in the blue paint, so technically there's unintentional GTI, goaltender interference for those unaware. And I was like, oh boy, so Kane is going to score that goal, isn't he? And They're playing desperate, and they're not playing desperate like Calgary was. They're playing desperate in the way that they're getting aggressive. They were like, when Calgary was getting desperate, they're just like, let me do a stretch pass. Let me just do whatever. When Chicago was playing desperate, they're like, let me hit you. Let my let's get on a rush. Let's send the defense in. It was great. Like, not for me. I thought I was gonna have a heart attack, but it was great. 1:15. They take a timeout. They go empty net. And oh boy, they got real close. They got real close. Leonard denies Doc, and then that's the game. Vegas wins 4-3, and they're the first team to move on to round 2. I'm pretty sure commentary said they'd play the winner of Vancouver, St. Louis, unless Calgary wins, I think. I don't know how the reseeding works, honestly. It's a mess. But excited for Vegas. Cannot wait for the playoffs. Round 2. I'm telling you, Vegas is a good team. If your team's eliminated, they're a good team to get on the bandwagon for. I love them. That's all I got to say today. Hope you guys enjoyed Ovechkin kicking your ass.